All right. Here we go. This should be short, hopefully. Hopefully this is short, it should be. So, the Mimic. Weird robot, bunny rabbit guy, Afton stand-in, the MacGuffin of the FNAF franchise at this point. Whatever you want to call him, he is a thing that exists that, is obviously important. So, I don't have a script written for this one, but that's fine. Because it's fine, this should be short, and I know what I'm going to say anyway. So, there's a lot of stuff going around about different interpretations of it and all that, and I've seen 3 full videos, so that means that I am an expert on this topic. So, that being said, I think I have to kind of disagree with what the majority of people are saying, which is that the Mimic is just straight up Afton, Afton was never there, it was only the Mimic, and I think that is not, it just seems weird that you have everything pointing towards Afton, and then you're just gonna turn and say no, it wasn't. But I mean, it's also, steel wool, and you have no idea what they're thinking. Their only job is to destroy franchises, so they could have done that on purpose, I don't know. But I mean, even the guide says that Burn Trap is Afton, so that's, it's pretty, that's evidence that he's not just the Mimic. But I forget who said it, but I agree with their theory, and I think it makes the most sense, which is that instead of the Mimic just being this, savior, and just yep, he's the answer to everything, it's still Afton. Burn Trap is still Afton. I said this in a stream, but, nobody's gonna watch that. So, pretty much, the Mimic, right, he gets made, or whatever it is, and that's what gets scanned into Help Wanted. It's not Glitch Trap. Glitch Trap is the Mimic. Glitch Trap is not Afton, because, I mean, it being a software, it makes more sense than it being somehow Afton just, transferred his consciousness into a circuit board, This way makes more sense and is more logical. So Mimic 1 or whatever gets scanned into Help Wanted and pretty much just has access to, all this information about all the games. And, from assessing all of that, kind of picks up the personality of William, right? Because he's the Mimic, so he starts to mimic that personality because he has all the information about the murders and stuff from the games within Help Wanted. So he kind of becomes Afton, and because that, now that he's mimicking him, he kind of has the one goal in mind, which is to bring him back. So he takes over Vanessa, and then he gets Vanessa to rebuild Afton in the FNAF 6 location. So that would make Burn Trap still Afton, and somehow he just survived, or that they brought him back. Probably by killing kids and getting their remnant, and then somehow infusing that into Burn Trap or something, and using that weird chargy station thing. So that would make Burn Trap still be William, and him coming back somehow. And that would also work with the fact that Charlie is back. Because the other thing is that with a Mimic is that it's all controlled by this tree in the center of the Pizzaplex, which just isn't there in the real game. But it could be a stand-in for Charlie, and how, I mean, this goes way back to John Andrews' first I solved FNAF theory, which is when he thought that it was an evil Charlie robot that was behind everything, right? And that Charlie is kind of, her presence is very strongly in that building, with the wires that are black and white striped, and the Nightmare On plushies, and the robots, the staff bots with the eyes that are crying. So for her to have a presence there means that she didn't move on, right? She didn't move on with the rest of the spirits in the FNAF 6 fire. And the only reason for her to not move on, according to the encyclopedia, is if William was still alive. It said as long as William was there, Charlie would still be there to fight him. She would be there to stop him. So the only way for her to be back is if William was back. So she can't be back, and it just be the Mimic the whole time. So that, it has to be Afton still. But the Mimic is definitely still responsible for a large portion of things, and is also most likely, the reason, the Glamrock Bonnie and all that, because it's described to be a bunny-looking animatronic that they kind of moved it to, because they made a bunch of them, and then it did an oopsies, and then they had to cancel them all. But that would also explain why the staff bots in the destroy Vanny ending, right? How Gregory's just be able to say disassemble Vanny and they do it, right? If it was a glitch trap virus and it was an actual like virus, it wouldn't just let Gregory just completely redo it and by pushing a button. You know, glitch trap would be like, no, I'm not gonna kill Vanny. But if it's just a program, just a normal program, if it's just Mimic 1, then yeah, Gregory would just be able to input and then they would turn on Vanny and then they get deactivated. Right, because technically they shouldn't be deactivated unless Afton's dead if Glitch Trap is Afton, but he's not. So that would work. So pretty much the summary of this is that the Mimic is not the Afton stand-in. The Mimic is Glitch Trap, who then made Vanessa go down to FNAF 6 and bring Afton back for whatever reason. And Charlie is also there to stop him, and she is kind of possessing this entire building, trying to like turn it against Afton, just like slowly changing things, and hopefully, which she kind of succeeds in, which is getting Gregory to turn on Afton and, you know, try and destroy him, which he tries to, but he fails, I think, and that's kind of what leads into Ruin. I'll make another video on that sometime, hopefully, maybe. So yeah, that's the theory, I guess. I mean, I could be way off. I only watched 3 videos. It doesn't have to be right. That's the whole point. I mean, it's just a theory, right? A game theory.